1027 WEQX, the cutting edge of rock and roll. Some Marshall Crenshaw right there, together with the Black Crowes, Billy Idol, and They Eat Their Own. It's 7 after 7, and I'm Joel Marshall. Picked up a copy of the New York Daily News. I'm glad to see they got everything worked out under new ownership and everything. Although it went up a nickel, and it's getting kind of thin. But it's still just a great paper. I mean, gosh, I grew up with it. Gotta have it. And good piece in this guy William Norwich's column of talking about Mike Tyson. Oh, by the way, did anybody see The Simpsons last night? It's an episode where Homer steals cable TV and they're watching the big fight. One of the fighters was a dead ringer for Mike Tyson. Anyway, it turns out Tyson was in Paris earlier this week, and on Monday, listen to this outfit he was wearing: an apple green leather overalls that were cut at the crotch, no shirt, and sunglasses. He says Tyson's look was accessorized by white sneakers, a stretch limousine, and some candy bars he munched for fast energy. If looks could kill, Tyson was a knockout, and he was looking good just a few weeks back. Great fight that was, and a great fight tonight too, the Foreman-Holyfield fight. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we might have some more tickets to that to give away. If we do, you will find out after 3 o'clock today when we begin our spring ticket window weekend. I may be wrong on that one. Those may be all gone, but lots of other great shows to win tickets for this weekend. Yes, Jane's Addiction, the Scorpions, all kinds of stuff. Here is, I'm going to miss this crusty old son of a gun, too. One of the last sportscasts we'll hear from the AP's Jack Doniger. I don't know what I did with the weather, but Jeff is here, and Jeff, I guess once we don't have Jack Doniger anymore to do the sports, we're going to have to think up all kinds of adjectives for when one team gets hammered by another. Pulverized, eviscerated, decapitated. How about snockered? We'll have to coin. Snockered? We'll have to coin a few of them, yeah. So what's this with Roger Clemens is in some kind of scrape? What's the story behind that?
Roger Clemens is, he's in a scrape. Him and his brother, I guess, roughed up some off-duty police officers down in Texas. And his brother's like 40 years old. And he also has to appear in court because he was suspended, as everyone knows, last playoffs.
Sure. Yeah.
And so he's got to be in New York for his meeting with...
When he got suspended last year, boy, he got right up in... who was the umpire?
Terry Cooney.
Yeah. Boy, he got right up in his face. Told him where he could... It's 12 after 7, and the forecast says a mostly sunny Friday, up to 60 degrees, and then tomorrow turning kind of wet. Here's REM. It's 31 degrees, and this is 1027 WEQX. .1027 WEQX. It's Pete Townsend, Charlie Watts, and also Ronnie Lane from The Faces, who suffers from multiple sclerosis but still performs. In Excess and REM in there too, Losing My Religion. And Jesus Jones is up next. It's 7:25 in the news. The Vermont Public Service Board, recently approved that purchase of 340 megawatts of electricity from Hydro-Quebec. Certain Vermont utilities made that purchase. The board says that the purchase will not depend on the highly controversial development of those new dams that are planned for Quebec's James Bay region. They're planning to flood a lot of the land up there. A Vermont company, 2 of its top officers have pleaded guilty in federal court to customs violations. S. Calvert Cogan and Harley Victor pleaded guilty to the violations, as did 2 of the companies which they're involved for falsifying customs declaration forms. In Albany, the legislature is expected to approve more emergency spending bills on Monday. For now, state lawmakers have gone home for the weekend, with still no agreement in sight on a new budget. Aides to Governor Cuomo and legislative leaders say little progress was made yesterday. And in Rochester, police say the general manager and vice president of an auto impounds lot in Rochester are sophisticated crooks. They're accused of ripping off the city and car owners of at least $13,000. And that's the news from 1027 WEQX.
If you're concerned about... It's available in a large selection of colors, fade-resistant ready-mixed colors like Country Redwood and Richmond Bisque, plus hundreds of additional custom mixed shades. The Glass Shop on Elm Street in Manchester Center.
Well, it's supposed to be very sunny today with a high up around 60 degrees, and then tonight turns chilly and cloudy, and tomorrow chance of showers in the afternoon, cloudy all day tomorrow, and highs in the 50s. It's 33, and here's Jesus Jones on 1027 WEQX. 1027 WEQX, the cutting edge of rock and roll. The replacements with a tune they do at the Palace Theater. Remember, I was sitting right next to you, Jeff.
That's right.
In fact,
I hate you then.
you know, it's weird. Every time we go to a concert, all the radio stations for some reason end up in the same row, which is okay. I mean, they're all nice people. It's not their fault they don't work at WEQX. Also, Bob Mould in there. If they did work at WEQX, they would probably mispronounce Bob Mould's name.
That's true.
Bob Mould. I mean, you wouldn't call Elliot Gould Elliot Gold.
That's right.
No, would you? So coming up, the new Willie Nile tune, and Sinead O'Connor are going to play some Sinead. You know, the real reason she wasn't on the Grammys was that she had cut herself shaving and didn't want to be on national TV with little bits of toilet paper stuck to her head there. So we'll be right back with this morning's morning call-in topic just after this.
It's a multi...
Be there.
Okay, it's time to do the WEQX morning call-in, and, no hurry. You have about an hour and a half to call in, and dial carefully, please. There's somebody with a number very similar to ours who gets woken up quite often. We're 802-362-1027.
The telephone is ringing. All I've got is this touch-tone phone. Hanging on the telephone.
Once again, it's 362-1027, and we're looking for some help. You see, starting Monday, we won't have Jack Doniger or Mark Russo, so we're going to be doing it all ourselves here. And maybe we'll have Jeff here stick around a little late. I mean, he usually is, but I don't know. It's totally up in the air. We're looking for features you'd like to see on the morning show. Like, for example, I don't know, Jeff, what do you think would be...
I think pork belly futures would be good. A lot of people are interested in it.
Sure, pork belly futures, or maybe a block of bad 70s disco every morning at 7 o'clock, or... we could, I don't know, whatever you think you'd like to hear on the WEQX morning show, 362-1027, and whoever's response is the most helpful or the most ridiculous will receive a fistful of fine CDs. This is new music from a new artist, actually kind of a comeback of sorts for Willie Nile, had some minor league hits in the early 80s. This one is Heaven Help the Lonely on 1027 WEQX. .102.7 WEQX. Santana does Argent, and Willie Nile. Star-studded lineup on the Willie Nile album. People like Richard Thompson from Fairport Convention. Roger McGuinn plays on it. Eric Bazillion from the Hooters. Robbie McIntosh from the Pretenders. And a whole bunch of folks helping out Willie. 10 in front of 8 o'clock. And we'll get some Blues Traveler on soon for all you folks who may be going up to Skidmore to see the show on Saturday night. And also our morning call-in rolls on 802-362-1027 with programming suggestions for what you'd like to hear on the morning show. Already we got some wise guy in Saratoga says they should replace me with Danny Bonaducci, but hey, it's a valid suggestion. If that's really the way you feel, I'm not going to tell you what to think. 362-1027 with programming suggestions for morning drive here at WEQX, our Friday morning call-in with a fistful of fine CDs at stake. And here's a guy who's the consummate professional, and I'm going to miss him very much. Mark Russo from AP Network News.
This isn't the kind of welcome he'd like.
Sold in America since 1976 are still on the road.
More car for your money. Subaru.
Test drive the 1991 Subaru Legacy L Plus sedan and save up to $2,400. Only at your capital area Subaru dealer.
Valid on select models. With combined options and incentive savings, see dealer for details. Ends April 30th. Hey, stereo. Well, a mostly sunny Friday in store. High up around 60 tonight, down to the mid-30s, and tomorrow clouding up with a chance of showers tomorrow afternoon, and highs in the mid-50s tomorrow. Sunday, and Sunday looks rainy and some scattered showers Monday and Tuesday, so a couple days of rain starting tomorrow, and highs in the 50s and lower 60s. It's 36. Here's Blues Traveler on 1027 WEQX. .102.7 WEQX, The Kinks. We're sending that one out to Danny Bonaducci. And Bad Company in there, too. And Sinead O'Connor, who I was reading in a tabloid newspaper last week, having a little fling with Arsenio Hall there. And supposedly he was flirting with her when he had her on the show. And I don't know. Turns out they may have hooked up. 10 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're taking calls for the morning call-in. 802-362-1027 with your morning show program suggestions, serious or otherwise. And I'd just like to tell you about my night last night. After blapping about it all week, finally went down to the Albany New Music Expo. And I asked someone who's very knowledgeable about these things, all right, if I can only see one band Who should I see? So they steered me to a Bogies for the Good Sons last night, and I was not disappointed. When I first got in there, they were playing an REM-like song, and I'm thinking, great, another REM clone band. But, you can't just pigeonhole these guys. Once they got a couple more tunes out, it was clear that they actually a diverse range of styles. Three-piece band, and they play around Albany quite a bit. You may want to catch them, but I was really blown away by the band that came on after the Good Sons. They were called Tornado Bait, and they were excellent. Really good guitar player, Todd Nelson, and Rick Bedrosian, who's like a journeyman bass player, been in a lot of bands. So Tornado Bait and the Good Sons, two bands that get the thumbs up for me, if that's for what that's worth. Here's the AP Network Sports from a poor, unsuspecting Jack Doniger who doesn't even know he's about to get the axe.
1000, produced by Keith Vecchia for Northeast Concerts. The Spring Fling with Yes.
Well, I've talked to a couple of folks who saw them both at the Meadowlands and I guess Nassau Coliseum, and they had nothing but good things to say about the Yes show, the same one that's rolling into the Nick this coming week. Of course, if they travel all that way to see him, they're kind of predisposed to enjoying the concert anyhow, but they do say it's quite a spectacle. Mostly sunny today with a high up around 60 degrees, and if you listen real closely, you can hear the birdies chirping here in Manchester, probably where you are too. Partly cloudy and chilly down to the mid-30s tonight. It's 39 right now. Here's Sting on 102.7 WEQX.